Hello, welcome to RTM News. My name is Emmy Akura Adaa. I'll be taking a look at the stories coming in our news for tonight, starting with the first story. Calls for Mayor Gumade to resign amid corruption charges. Ethekwini's Metro Mayor Zandile Gumade has been called on to step down following her appearance in court yesterday in connection with alleged fraud and corruption. Councillor Modley Mtembu is her co-accused in the matter. Unless the mayor is able to clear her name, she should step down and put the city's needs first, allowing her time to fight this matter in court, said Tim Terry, Organization on Doing Tax Abuse Provincial Manager. Terry said Gumade's very restrictive bail conditions would make it difficult for her to work because she cannot carry out her duties in full or at all, and is not allowed to communicate with officials linked to the audit of Durban Solid Waste, which is linked to her fraud and corruption charges. Staying in South Africa, Lords of Parliament seat an unfortunate temporarily setback, outgoing Scopa Chair Godi says. The outgoing chairperson of Parliament's Watchdog Committee, the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, Themba Godi says his party's loss of seat in the National Assembly was an unfortunate turn of event. Godi, the only member of the African People's Convention with a seat in the previous Parliament, will leave the national stage after his party failed to attract enough votes required for a seat in the National Assembly. APC received 19,000 of the vote, approximately 0.1%, roughly 20,000 votes short of the required minimum. Asked about his thoughts on the elections, Godi said, "For me as a person and for the party, it is an unfortunate turn of events." He added that he would have loved to have kept the role in Parliament and to follow up on community issues. And in the last story coming in this segment, Cabinet could be reduced by as many as 9 departments and 15 deputy ministers. President Cyril Ramaphosa could reduce his national executive by as many as 9 departments and ministry when he announced the reconfiguration of his cabinet soon, although there is no official word from the union buildings on when Ramaphosa will announce the changes to his executive. Furious horse trading and discussions are taking place inside Lutuli House and the broader governing alliance on who should be sent to cabinet. Various unverified lists are being circulated, with Ramaphosa under pressure to commit controversial ministers including Batabile Dlamini and Nomvelo Mokoyane. According to a number of sources in the governing party and broader alliance, it appears if Ramaphosa looks set to take control of the finance, economics and security cluster, with allies proposed to take charge of vital ministries. After the short break, we'll continue in Africa. Stay tuned.
Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, we're here. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, we're here. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in these segment. Benin probes a French tourist kidnapping. Benin's justice system opened a judicial investigation on Tuesday following the kidnapping of 2 French tourists on May 1st and the death of their Beninese guide in the north of the country. The Office of the Special Prosecutor of the Court for the Suppression of Economic Crimes and Terrorism of Benin reported on Tuesday that it opened a judicial investigation to determine the causes and the conditions of the incident that led to the disappearance of 2 Frenchmen and the death of the guide Beji. Patrick Piquet and Laurent were released 10 days after their disappearance by a French army operation in the northern Burkina Faso, which killed several people, including 2 special forces soldiers. However, the Benin authorities have still not officially acknowledged their adoption and continue to talk about their disappearance. Staying in this segment, Liberia opposition vowed to go ahead with June protest. Opponents of Liberian President George Weah in a meeting of the Council of Patriots on Tuesday maintained their stand to demonstrate on June 7 despite a call for dialogue launched by the head of state. The call is to demand that President Weah resign or find a solution to the appalling economic situation of the country, affecting most of the populace. On June 7, we will present our demands to you, added Mr. Dillon, who was speaking at a meeting requested by George Weah in the presence of representatives of ECOWAS, the United Nations, and religious leaders who made calls for peace and dialogue. Liberia politicians have been accused of trying to create tensions around these demonstrations between the American Liberian elite, descendants of freed slaves who have dominated Liberia political life for 170 years, and the indigenous, including George Weah. Taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, Gabon president vows to nab thieves of $250 million protected hardwood. Gabon's president vowed yesterday to find and punish those responsible for the disappearance of over 350 containers of protected hardwood worth nearly $250 million. In late February and early March, the authorities uncovered and seized 392 containers with 5,000 cubic meters of illegal felled Kezazingo wood in the port of Owendo. But by the end of April, 353 of the containers had disappeared. This case is extremely seriously. It requires the greatest severity in response, the administration of President Ali Bongo said in a statement. There must be no weakness, no impunity, no special favor, no matter the rank of the persons involved. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our Nigerian story. Stay tuned.
Programs were education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. Court restrained EFCC, ICPC, DSS from probing Saraki. The Federal High Court in Abuja yesterday restrained the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and other agencies involved in the probe of Senate President Bukola Saraki over corruption allegations. Saraki on Friday filed 2 separate fundamental rights enforcement suits before the court to challenge the decision of the EFCC to seize his houses, ruling on an ex parte applications filed along with the substantive suit by Saraki. Justice Taiwo on Tuesday ordered the anti-corruption body and the other 5 respondents to the suit to stay action on the probe pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice filed by the applicant. Staying in this segment, Nigeria's poverty level upset me, says President Muhammadu Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday night lamented the high level of poverty pervading in the country at the moment, saying that the situation makes him uncomfortable. The president expressed his displeasure on the nation's poverty rate when he played host to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the ministers, service chiefs, head of security agencies and chief executives of federal government agencies and institutions to a breaking of fast at the presidential villa, Abuja. He frowned at the inability of the Nigerian elite to address the welfare and educational needs of the less privileged in the society. And in the last story coming in, there is a segment, Reps reject bill to regulate overseas medical treatment. The House of Representatives voted out a bill seeking to regulate overseas medical treatment being sought by public officials. The report on the bill for an act to amend the National Health Act 2014 to regulate international trips for medical treatment by public officers to strengthen the health institutions for efficient service delivery was considered by the Committee of the Whole. While debating the report, the lawmakers claimed that the legislation would breach the rights of public officials. The Deputy Speaker, Mr. Lasun Yusuf, said the bill would discriminate against elected officials. He said, "This bill is against my fundamental human rights. There are 2 fundamental wrongs in this bill. It is against human rights and it is discriminatory. Do not let us do a debate on this bill," he stated. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our international stories. Stay tuned.
Education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, we're here. Education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, we're here. Education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. A third of Thailand's appointed senators linked to military police. More than a third of Thailand's newly appointed senators have military or police backgrounds. An official document showed yesterday a sign the upper house will probably vote to entrench army dominance of government 5 years after a military coup. The 250 senators appointed by the junta and approved on Tuesday by King Maha have a large say in who leads the next government under a post-coup constitution ratified in 2017. There is no denying that the upper house will be a tool to extend the junta's power, said Pierre Bout of the Future Forward Party, which opposes military rule. One new senator is the brother of ruling junta leader Prah Chan Ochal, and more than a dozen were members of his cabinet, a Royal Gazette document revealed by Reuters showed. Staying in these segment, Venezuela security forces block opposition lawmakers from entering parliament. Venezuelan security forces prevented opposition lawmakers from entering the parliament building for a session yesterday, a week after the top court stripped several lawmakers of their immunity amid a political crisis in the South American country. Members of the SEBI intelligence service wearing masks and carrying long guns, together with members of the national police and the military, blocked the entrance and were investigating the possible presence of an explosive device inside the National Assembly building, lawmakers said. Taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, accused the California synagogue government pleads not guilty to hate crimes. A California nursing student charged with last month's deadly shooting spree in a San Diego area synagogue and arson at a nearby mosque pleaded not guilty on Tuesday to more than 100 counts of federal hate crimes and civil rights offenses. John Timothy Ernest, 19, who could face the death penalty if convicted, was appointed an attorney with expertise in the capital cases in a brief appearance in U.S. District Court in San Diego. Ernest pleaded not guilty last month in state court to one count of murder as a hate crime, a capital offense under Californian law, and 3 counts of attempted murder stemming from the April 27 shooting at the Shabab of Power synagogue. 1 worshipper was killed in that attack and 3 others wounded. And those are all the stories we have for you in this segment. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our sports stories. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. Antoine Griezmann, striker to leave Atletico Madrid at the end of season. Atletico Madrid striker Antoine Griezmann has announced that he will be leaving at the end of this season after 5 years. The World Cup winner signed a 5-year contract last June, but Saturday's La Liga match against Levante will be his last for the club. Barcelona will pay the buyout clause in a Griezmann's contract of €120 million. BBC Sports understand it has been an incredible 5 years. Thank you for everything, he said. Staying in sports story, Aston Villa beat West Brom on penalties. Aston Villa beat West Brom in a penalty shootout to reach the championship playoff final for the second successive season. Tammy Abraham's winning spot after keeper Jester had saved Albion's first two penalties set today's shootout 4-3 in Villa's favor after his gripping 2 hours of tension-packed debut drama. Trailing 2-1 from Saturday's first leg, Albion leveled the tie with Greg Dawson flicked home a near-post header from a long throw, but just as much as Dwight Gay's red card proved crucial at Villa's Park, so did the 88th minute sending off of Albion captain Chris Brunt as they finished with 10 men for the second time in 4 days. Staying in the sports story, Moise Kean, Serie A opted not to sanction Cagliari for racist abuse. Serie A has decided not to sanction Cagliari for their fans' racist abuse of Moise Kean, despite admitting their actions were reprehensible. The Juventus forward 19 suffered racist abuse from the stand during his side's 2-0 win at Cagliari on April 2nd. It emerged the chant in question, although certainly reprehensible, had an objectively limited relevance to race, the body said. Juventus sealed their 8th consecutive Serie A title last month. Kean held his arms aloft after scoring Juve's second goal of the match, seemingly in response to the chant, and was subjected to further abuse. Taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, Daniele De Rossi to leave Serie A side Roma at end of the season. Veteran Roma midfielder Daniele De Rossi will leave the Italian side at the end of the season. The 35-year-old, who joined the Serie A giant in 2000 from his hometown club Ostia Mare, has made 615 appearances and scored 63 goals for them. A Roma statement said De Rossi, who won the World Cup 2006 with Italy, would not be retiring but pursuing a new adventure elsewhere. De Rossi's final game for the club will be against Parma on Sunday, 26 May. And those are all the stories we have for you in our news for tonight. See you again tomorrow, same time, same station. Do have a wonderful evening.
Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul.